Hello everyone, I'm happy to have you in class once again. How are you doing this morning? I hope you had a very wonderful night rest and I'm sure you're ready for today's class. Please, I want you to get yourself ready, get your mind writing materials, all that you need, and get yourself settled down somewhere because I won't want to be distracted in the course of the class. I wouldn't want you to be going out while the class is going on. Please, I want you to pay attention because this topic promises to be very interesting. This is Mrs. Olayinka, as you all know, and I'm so excited to have you on this wonderful and amazing learning platform. I'm sure you have learned one or two things in the course of this online remote learning classes, and I'm very sure you are enjoying yourself. Today we are going to be talking about religion and national value. Religion and national value under civic education. And then we're going to be looking at democracy. But the aspect of democracy we want to look at is pressure group. Yes, pressure group. I know some of you might have been hearing the word pressure group here and there, but you don't actually know what it means, or you may be having a wrong meaning to what you have been hearing. But today I'll be telling you what pressure group actually is. I'll tell you the types of pressure group we have, and then I'll be giving you some advantages and some disadvantages of pressure group. Once again, I'm Mrs. Olayinka, and you're very much welcome to class. I'm so excited to have you. Please, I want you to go along with me as I continue in this. Good. At the end of this class, I want you to be able to define pressure groups, to be able to mention types of pressure groups, and to be able to give me the importance of pressure groups, and then to give me the disadvantages of pressure groups. Please, I want you to know that you are supposed to be learning something at the end of the class. So at the end of the class, you should be able to define pressure group. You should be able to tell me the types of pressure groups you have, and then you should be able to give the importance of pressure groups, and then list the advantage and disadvantages of pressure group. Don't forget, the importance is just the same as the importance. That's the advantage, and then you should be able to list the disadvantages as well. Okay, what is pressure group? A pressure group is a group of people with common goals and interests. A group of people with the same goal and interests. They embark on a collective action to protect their interests. Pressure group is not a political party. They are different from political parties. Please don't mess it up. They are not political parties. They are different from political parties. They are groups that influences government policies in order to protect their own interests. They make sure they influence the government's policies in order to protect their own interests. So they are not political parties. They are not political parties. They are pressure groups. They are groups that influence government policies in order to protect their own interests. So that means this pressure group has a particular interest they are protecting. They have a mission. They have aim and objective. They have something they focus on. They actually coming together to do a particular thing. They are not just together because they don't have a mission or a vision. They have a goal. So they want to protect their own interests. That is their goal. They have a common goal and they embark on this interest of every one of them. They don't have any selfish interest. When you see them, they are out for the interest of the group which they represent. Now, like I told you before, there are types of pressure groups. There are various types of pressure groups that we have around us. Some of them have been listed here. We have professional association, we have trade unions, we have the media, we have student associations, we have women organizations, and we have social clubs. They are all pressure groups. Social clubs, women organizations, student association, media, trade union, and professional association. Okay, I have a picture here. We have shelter. There are different pressure groups here. I have here Greenpeace. These are their slogans, and you can see Amnesty International. We have fighters. We have Fathers for Justice, UK Uncut, Human Rights Watch, Shelter, Greenpeace. So I'll be talking about some of these examples. I told you that one of the type of pressure group is professional association. Now, one of the professional association we have is Nigerian Medical Association, NMA. You might have been hearing the abbreviation NMA. You don't know what it means. You don't know the full meaning. It's Nigerian Medical Association. That's where all the medical doctors come together to discuss what pertains to their interest. What they will discuss what pertains to the interest of each and every individual in that association. It's a professional association. Then we have Nigerian Bar Association. Nigerian Bar Association. Can you tell me who are those people that are actually in the bar? What are those people that we are referring to when we say Nigerian Bar Association? Can you give me an idea? Who are those people that we call Nigerian Bar Association? Can I hear you? Okay, you're trying to, okay, right, you're doing well. Nigerian Bar Association are the association of lawyers, barristers. Yes, they are the one that comes together to form NBA, Nigerian Bar Association. And we have Nigerian Union of Teachers. That one is very common everywhere. We have teachers around. Teachers are the mothers of all the professions. So teachers come together as a union to defend their individual interests. They talk about the welfare of the teachers. They talk about policies that pertain to the teachers. And if the government is not trying to listen to what the teachers are actually saying, the union will fight for the interest of the teachers. We have more examples of pressure groups. We have more examples. We have trade unions. We have student associations. We have women organizations, and we have the press. Under the trade union, we have Nigerian Labour Congress. We have the Academic Staff Union of Universities. That's Student Association, ASU. So many of you might have been hearing your sisters or brothers coming home and say, ASU is on strike. ASU is on strike. We cannot go to school because ASU is on strike. You may be wondering, ASU, my sister, my brother, what is the meaning of ASU? And they were like, leave me alone, man. I'm not in the mood. Thank God for this class. ASU means Academic Staff Union of Universities. Okay, did you get that? Please, I want you to keep it at the back of your mind. Don't forget these abbreviations. They are very, very important. Apart from the fact that you're learning what pressure groups are, you're also learning what some of these abbreviations actually stands for. You're learning two things in one class. So it's a very big class. Please pay attention. So Academic Staff Union of Universities is ASU, and that's Student Association. So anytime you hear the word ASU, henceforth, you know what it actually stands for. You know what it means. And that's where all the staff of university comes together to discuss issues that pertain to the welfare of the staff, about their salary, about the welfare, about everything that has to do with the staff of the university. Then we have women organizations. We have quite a lot of women organizations in Nigeria that fight for the interests of women. One of them is Kudirat Initiative for Democracy. We have a lot of them. In fact, after this class, I want you to go and find out a lot of organizations under women organizations that we have in Nigeria, and then it will help you to have more examples. Then we have the press. The press talks about the newspaper, the media. Now, we have a lot of them. We have some of them. We have the Guardian newspaper. We have the Sun newspaper. We have AIC, NTA talks about the media. The press talks about the media. Those people also come together as an association, even to discuss and to fight against any policy that does not portray the organization very well. Now we're talking about the importance of pressure groups. Importance of pressure groups. Why do we have these pressure groups here and there? Why do we have a lot of people gathering here, gathering there, forming union, forming associations? In fact, it boils down to the environment, to the local government, to your area, to your ward, in your environment where you live. You see paper sellers coming together. You see fish sellers coming together. You see tailors sewing clothes coming together, forming association, and you begin to wonder, why are these people always forming association? Is it necessary? Is it compulsory? How many of you have ever seen any association whatsoever? Or does mommy already belong to any association that you know of? Mommy say, I want to go for a meeting. Which meeting is that? And there's a meeting of our association, and we are meeting, and you don't get it, you don't understand what they are going there for. You don't understand what they are doing there. Actually, what they are doing is that this association, these people come together to protect the interests of one another. So what is the importance? One, they protect their members' interests. That's the first one. They protect the interests of the members. That's the first one. They protect the interests of the members. Then they keep government in check. Who can explain that to me? What does it mean to keep the government in check? Anybody want to try? You say, I want to keep the government in check. Do you have an idea? Do you know what that means? Okay, some of you are trying. Well, let me help you out. To keep government in check means that to ensure that the government does not come out with any policy that is contrary to the interests of that group. So anytime the government wants to make any policy, the group is there to stand for themselves and to stop the government from bringing up any policy that will not please them or that will not suit them. So in that form, they will keep the government in check, because by the time the government realizes that, no, if we say this about the doctors, the NBA will come to us, and then they will try to come and defend the interests of their members. No, let's not do it. Or maybe they want to talk about the teachers, and then they remember the NUT. Oh no, let's leave the teachers alone, because we know their leaders will come and fight for their interests. So the government will remember these people, and then they will keep their policies, and then they will make sure that the policy, anything they want to do, goes in line with the interests of the group. Then what is the next one? They contribute to development by assisting government to provide services. Yes, doctors here and there. No governments. We have doctors, we have hospitals here and there, not just government hospitals. We have a lot of private hospitals around. Can somebody mention any private hospital that you know? Can you mention one? Any private hospital close to your house, close to yourself? I can hear somebody saying Blooming Care. Okay, that's a popular one along Dalimo Road. Okay, we have a lot of hospitals and we have doctors working there. So it's not just governments alone that can provide job opportunities for people. These individuals provide job opportunity. They provide services for people. They have the governments. We have a lot of private schools around. Look at Greenland Hall. Greenland Hall is a private school. It's not a public school. It's not owned by the government. It's owned by an individual. And the individual is paying the staff, doing a lot of things, providing services. So you can see they are assisting the government. Pressure groups assisting the government. So we have a lot of teachers here, and we have a lot of schools that teachers teach. And they come together to protect the interests of the teachers. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have a lot of profession. All the professions we have in this country, they have their own members, and they protect the interests of one another. So they contribute to the development by assisting the government to provide services. Then their action often bring about improvement in government service delivery, because by the time they know that the members will come fight for the interests of one another, the government will try as much as possible to make sure that there's improvement in the delivery of their services. They will make sure that, okay, look at the public school, and there's a private school very close to the public school, and the government knows that private schools have well-furnished classrooms. They have a conducive environment for children to learn. The government will sit up and try as much as possible, even if they are not too very close to the number of pupils in the class that private schools have, but they will try to ensure that at least they can also deliver services that they deliver improved services to the people. So this pressure group ensure that governments give this own delivery on a high notch as well. Then they fight every form of exploitation and violation of members' rights. Yes, that is what pressure group does. That's one very good importance of pressure group. They fight for their interests. They fight for the violation of their members' rights. If they notice that any of the members, the right of the members want to be abused, they will stand up and fight for the interests of the members. And that's why pressure group is very, very important. We have seen the advantages, that's the importance of pressure group. Now, what is the disadvantage? Because there's something that has its advantage that does not have its own disadvantages. Yes, everything you see around has its pros and its cons. Now, what are the disadvantages? One, pressure groups can make it difficult for government to implement policies. Yes, they will look at, by the time the government look at it, the policy might be fine, quite right. But if the government look at it that the group will come up and fight against it, they will not be able to do it. Or maybe the government want to implement a policy that has to do with the university staff. And then it might be a good policy. But if it doesn't go down well with the staff of the university, they may go on strike. And because the government doesn't want the students to be at home while instead of them to be learning in school, the government will change its policy and go alongside with this pressure group, so that schools can go back to session, so that children can go back to school. So because of that, governments at times have to bend for the pressure groups, so that the pressure groups will not affect the lives of the individuals, the masses, with their demands. Because sometimes these pressure groups makes outrageous demands. They make demands that the government cannot actually deliver. So, but because the government wants they don't want the masses to suffer, they will ensure that these things they demand for is being supplied, or at least part of it is being supplied. Then their actions protest, strike, demonstration, because pressure group use different kind of action, use different kind of things to pass across their grievances. So some of them are strike, some of them are protest, some of them are demonstration. It can paralyze the economy. Look at the labor union. The labor union comprised of the workers. If the labor union tell not to go to work and then everybody stay at home, what do you think will happen? Anybody want to try? Labor union does not go to work for two weeks and they stay at home. What do you think will happen to the economy of the nation? It will go down. So that's why their actions sometimes paralyze the economy of the nation. It paralyzes the economic activities. Then sometimes they make an outrageous demand. They ask for things that the government will not be able to supply. And then the government will be running a task trying to look for a way to meet up their demand so that things can go back in place. So those are the disadvantages of pressure groups. Now, we have come to the evaluation page. I want somebody to tell me, and I'm very sure you have been listening to what I've been saying from the beginning of the class, talking about pressure groups, what pressure groups are, and all what's not. And I want somebody to tell me if you have actually been listening to me very well from your house and where you're seated. What is pressure groups? What is a pressure group? Or what are pressure groups? Anybody want to try? I'm listening. Okay, good. I can see that one or two of you are trying to make an attempt. They protect groups that protect the interests of their members. They mention 4 types of pressure groups. That's very simple. What are they? Number 1. Mention 4 types. I gave you like 5, 6. Mention them. Okay, that's good. Then give me one example of each one you have mentioned. You know the one you have mentioned. Just give me an example of the one you have mentioned. Okay, very good. Thank you for the evaluation. In conclusion, pressure groups are not political parties. Like I told you before, they are not political parties, APC and PDP and so on and so forth, but they are meant to influence government policies. I'm sure you have been able to learn 1 or 2 things from today's class. It's been exciting all the way. You have learned what pressure groups are. You have learned the types of pressure groups. You have heard the examples of pressure groups, and you have seen the importance and the disadvantages of pressure group. I want to believe that when we meet next time, you'll be able to answer a lot of questions from this topic. So I want you to calm down and wait for the questions on this topic, which is coming very soon. Thank you for the class and take care. Bye-bye.